Perfect. Alrighty, so getting right to it, just want to go over some housekeeping for you all. As you just heard, this event is being recorded. Tomorrow, I am sending this to all folks who registered. We will upload it onto YouTube and it will be available on our website. Closed captioning is available for this, so if you'd like to utilize that, you can find that in your settings on Zoom. You can use the chat feature to ask questions. We have allotted the end of this webinar to go over all of the questions and sort of open the floor for discussion. But if you do have a particular question during the presentation of the content, feel free to pop it into the chat. I'm going to be monitoring the chat, and so will my coworker Denise. And we will make sure that all of our questions get answered and addressed. If you would like to remain anonymous in this Zoom call, feel free to keep your video off. You also have the option to change your name, your title on Zoom. If you go to your picture, where you see your picture floating around and press those three buttons there, it gives you an option to rename yourself. So if that is something that makes you feel more comfortable in the space, please feel free to do that. Just a reminder, this is a safe space for everybody to share opinions and to be heard and held. And that's one of the things that we always iterate and reiterate. Also, we have an evaluation at the end of the webinar. I'm going to be dropping a link in the chat towards the end. Your feedback is so incredibly important and it influences our programming and helps us to continue to be funded to have conversations like the one that we're going to be having this evening. A little bit about the Reunion Project. It was founded in 2015 by activists living with HIV. The Reunion Project is the alliance of long-term survivors of HIV, collaborating with local and national HIV advocates, providers, and researchers. And together we convene and connect individuals and communities, sharing our experiences of survival and loss while honoring our past and developing successful strategies for living and supporting one another today and into the future. And this photo right here that you're looking at is the first original crew of the Reunion Project when they convened together. And I think a lot of the people in this photograph are with us here today, which is really special. The Reunion Project truly is a family that continues living on and loving. We offer in-person and virtual programs. We offer peer-led programs, and we provide funding for other folks around the US to lead their own convenings like we do around the United States and sort of bring their own visions to life to convene people living with HIV and allies. We also participate in other projects and we frequently collaborate with partners. We're very active in the world of HIV advocacy. You can see us in many different places. We're always on the move. We hold regional town halls or community convenings. Next week, actually, we'll be in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina. So that's our next stop. And we host wonderful webinars like the ones that we're having today. This is part of our Long-Term Survivor Toolkit Series. And we cover topics relevant to long-term survivors and lifetime survivors living with HIV, as well as anyone with an interest. We have a very inclusive view of long-term survivor of HIV. And so if you have an interest in the topic and if you want to be supportive in the space, we want you here. We also last year launched our Aware Academy. So Aware stands for Aging with Agency, Resilience, and Engagement. And it's a leadership development program that is virtual and is consisting of several trainings that sort of helps to enhance a person's advocacy and activism in the HIV world. We just had our graduating class a few weeks ago. They just graduated. Congratulations to them. And that was our second cohort of Aware Academy graduates. So we're really happy about this and happy to continue funding and we look forward to future cohorts. Of course, we want to thank our funders, Gilead, Vive Healthcare, and Broadway Cares Equity Fight AIDS. Again, without funding, we couldn't do this work. And so we're extremely grateful for the ongoing support that we have from our funders. And then moving into the good stuff. So, we are here today to talk about living and loving in 3D, dating and disclosure with dignity. So, all facets that come with being a person living with HIV, intimacy, sex, dating, the world of dating apps, the whole plethora. Dr. Myron Krys has all of it covered for you. So excited. And with that being said, I am so happy to hand it off to our featured speaker, Dr. Myron Krys, and I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing so that Dr. Krys can share his content with you. Thank you all so much for being here.
Hello, 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 everyone. I'm gonna outside of tired. How are we feeling? If you can put it in the chat, let's put some feeling word in the chat for us. I haven't shared yet, so I can still see the chat. If you have a feeling, or sometimes if somebody's feeling sexy, all right. Okay. If you have a color that you are feeling tonight, sometimes we can't get the mood or emotion, so we can just put a color in the so stress. That's I feel you on that. Let's see a couple more. If anyone is willing, excited, excited, connected, good. Well, thank you. Before I begin, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to Denise, to Jeff, to the whole crew at the Reunion Project. I think this is about the third or fourth time that I spoke. I started off, I came just to sing a couple songs, and then they liked me so much they invited me to come back and say, oh, and they figured I had something to say. So I come back and presented this presentation in earlier this year. I'm not good with time frames, but sometime earlier in the year. And I guess I did a good job. So they said, we want you to do the exact same presentation again. I was like, you sure you want the same presentation? They said the same one. But I took some things, some notes, because the other one was way too long. We didn't get through half the content. So I kind of cut it down some so that we can really lean into the conversation piece of it and get through the content as well. So let me go ahead and share my slides here. Um,
Got some grateful people, some inspired people, some hopeful people.
all right. So can everyone see my slides?
Yes.
Yes. All right. U equals U plus U, and I see people are still coming in. Dating and disclosure with dignity. Now I'm going to start with a spoiler alert. I will talk with lots of people. I'm a therapist by training, so I see about 30 clients, 30, 32 clients a week. I have friends that are single and some that are married and still dating. And I want to just let you know, spoiler alert, regardless of your race, your sexuality, your status, dating in 2026 sucks. Period. It's horrible. It's awful. So, if you have someone that you kind of like, stay with them because these streets is hard out here. But if you are going to date, let's talk about how you can date with dignity, dating and disclosure with dignity. Now, this is a very interactive presentation. So I'm going to invite you to put in the chat yes or no if you've used a dating app in the past year. And Heather, just kind of say a few of those answers. If you're seeing more yeses, more nos.
Yes, there's a lot of yes going on.
Okay.
We're locked in.
All right. So then the next question, if you haven't dated in 5 plus years, if you've not dated in 5 plus years, yes or no?
I'm seeing some no's.
Okay.
No's are coming in, yeah.
Okay.
No, there's another no. Three no's.
Gotcha. All right. So ended that question. So the next question, put a pause on that last question. So the next question, dating feels overwhelming right now. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna lick both hands for that, but yes, yes, yes. But
Yes, sure does. Yes, with like all caps, exclamation marks. Yes, yes.
all right, we're gonna end that one, and I think we got one more. Say yes or no if you've navigated disclosure through an app. If you've told about your status disclosed in your in the app.
Seen a lot of no's. Two
Hmm.
yeses, three yeses though.
Okay.
Some no's, quite a few yeses, another two more no's. I love
Mhm.
how interactive we are right now. This is great.
Yes, yes. So I will say I have ADHD, attention deficit, and so I hate any boring presentation. So it's an interactive piece. So that is one of the reasons why I lean into that. So we're going to talk about modern dating, and the three parts that we're going to talk about in this is access, visibility and filtering, and acceleration. Access, visibility, and filtering and acceleration. So we have a lot more access these days. If you are a person of a certain age, you remember even before the internet was out, even before everyone had a home computer, you might remember how people dated back in the day, and you kind of just were the people that you were around or the communities that's the people that you dated. But now with the say modern day internet and the access to these apps, we have the Tinders, we have Bumble, we have Hinge, we have Grinder, we have Her, we have OkCupid, and those are just a few. I invite you to put in the chat if you have, what's your favorite dating app or one that's not up here so far. Let's read about two or three of those. If anyone puts any your favorite dating app or just app you've heard of.
Did not get available on this piece. To browse the services, just ask me to open video.
I Scruff,
Rough.
Field, Pox.
Yes. So, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I heard one comedian say, there's someone out there for everybody. So she sang the little, "You don't have to be lonely at Farmers Only. If you want a farmer, you can go to Farmers Only and find you a person." So we have so much access to people. If you want someone in your city, if you want someone all the way on the other side of the world in Australia, you can get on these apps and find your person. So then with that comes increased visibility. So you get more people seeing you, which gives greater potential to find a match. I lived in New York City for a couple years, and my therapist at the time told me it's a numbers game. You just got to get out there and just see people and just talk to people and meet people and go on dates. It's a numbers game. The more people you have access to, the greater your likelihood. It's like gambling. I guess the more you do it, the greater your odds. I don't gamble, but that's what I'm told. So with that, you can filter by identity. You can filter by the preferences, all different types of preferences. You can filter by your relationship goals. People say, I don't know what my relationship goal is. People say I want to be looking for marriage. I'm looking just for a good time. You can filter your relationship goals, and you can even some of them, not all of them, but some of them even include your health status. So the result of this is that it could be empowering. I can build a bear. I can build a man, build a woman, build a person, and kind of find exactly what I'm looking for, at least in theory. But then can also be reductionist because we never really get to know someone. We kind of just in some of these apps, people don't even put words on the screen. You just have to a picture to go by. And so that's really reductionist. You just see body parts or the face or what have you, and you determine from a picture. I guess they do say love at first sight. So, but it's very reductionist in some of these apps, many of these apps. But then it can also reinforce stigma based on your race, based on your gender, based on whatever. People can see this and say, "Oh, okay, well, I believe this about this demographic of people." So it can reinforce stigmas. So with the acceleration, I'll say we live in this microwave generation. Everything moves so quickly. So connection moves faster and conversation moves faster, if it moves at all. If you've been on dating apps, sometimes people just match with you and then they never say anything. But if there is a conversation, we can move the conversation faster. And expectations move faster. Hey, how you doing? I like you. Let's sleep together. Expectations move faster these days. And this is a big but, emotional intimacy still develops at a human pace. You can sleep with someone, but that doesn't mean that you have emotional intimacy. And it's often been said, intimacy is into me see, being able to be vulnerable and share that. So when the pace, you have these expectations, you have these likes, and all these different things align, but there's not emotional intimacy, or there's not these deeper things that you are longing for. When that does not match, it can feel overwhelming. Hmm. It can make you feel like you're disposable. One thing that I thought when because I'm originally from Georgia, and then it was Black Gay Mecca, that people used to call it. Then I moved to Chicago. I was like, oh, this is even bigger space. And then I moved to New York City. I'm like, oh, this is even bigger space. I'm like, so I'm definitely gonna find my person in these spaces. But then I realized the hard truth: more, bigger does not mean better. More does not mean more quality. And oftentimes in these bigger spaces, people they hugging you and looking at the other person over your shoulder because there's so many options. Oh, the grass always looks greener on the other side. And so um, I don't like this one thing about, oh, you look this certain way in your picture or you made this certain move. So then I'm gonna dispose of you. I'll find something better just one swipe away. So it can make us feel disposable. And if we have fear of rejection, this climate could definitely cause that to stir up those feelings of rejection. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. So here is the interactive point again. In the chat, I want you to type briefly. You can put one word or phrase. It doesn't have something not too long. What's one thing about modern dating that confuses, frustrates, or overwhelms you? One thing about modern dating that confuses, frustrates, or overwhelms you. And we'll give you a minute or so to put that in the chat.
I'm seeing some folks are not available for companionship, and it's mostly just about sex, time and effort, the thought of just beginning to do it, emotional effort. You must have the perfect body, inconsistency, dishonesty, lack of effort, pretentious, not knowing what they want, or even having some idea of what they want. Thank you for all these answers, everyone.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I can I could have wrote all of those because I have had those same experiences. You know, there's a song people definitely if you want sex you can have no shortage of that. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. If you want sex, you can find sex, but especially something deeper than that can be very challenging and frustrating with that. But then we're going to get into some of the depth, the psychology of disclosure. This should be, I don't think it's news to anyone, but I'm going to read it out for us, the legal context. So, Illinois, where I live, modernized its HIV criminal laws in 2021, removing the HIV specific transmission statute, part of a growing national wave. Maryland, North Dakota, and Pennsylvania have since fully repealed their laws, and Louisiana narrowed its exposure law in 2026. At least 16 states have now reformed these laws. In Illinois, you are no longer required to disclose your status before sexual contact if you are complying with treatment. However, not legally required does not answer the ethical question, when and how should I disclose. Now I know we have some people all over the world. If you do know, where is your place of residence? What is their? Do you know if they have certain laws on the book that are similar to this, or are they different? You can put that in the chat. If you don't know, then that's fine as well. So this disclosure is not just information. It's not just saying I am HIV undetectable. It's not just sharing a fact. It's being vulnerable. It's relational. There's a lot on in weighing in the balance when we disclose. One of the hardest things, particular for our community, is the stigma. There's a lot of stigma. There's a lot of miseducation, a lot of things we know now people are still stuck back 10, 20 years ago. And those stigmas still remain. I was talking to a colleague that's also a therapist, and we'll get into this like U equals U. I think most of us know what that is, if not all. And they had no clue what that was. I thought everybody knew that by now, but they was like, "Oh, for real? I didn't know that." So even people that should know, people that work with our different populations, don't know. And this stigma can be the strongest predictor of mental health distress and social isolation. So the deeper question for us, but also for many marginalized identities, I work with all kinds of marginalized identities, and this question resonates in all. This question is there space for all of me here? Can I bring all of my parts, all of my pieces, and have this person accept me, love me, respect me? It's a deep question, and it's a hard question because you don't always know, and sometimes you find out the hard way. So then there are stages of safety. The first stage, first of three, is internal safety. There is a person by the name of RuPaul, and they say that if you can't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love somebody else? I'm gonna flip that a little bit and say, if you can't accept yourself, how the hell you gonna expect someone else to accept you? Now, me being a therapist, I know that's easier said than done. So that might require a lot of processing, a lot of sitting on someone's couch, a lot of sitting and journaling or whatever the case may be. But we have to get to that point of accepting ourselves. At least I would encourage us to. You don't have to. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But I would hopefully that we can get to that point. But then stage two is relational safety. Does this person demonstrate, and we're talking about dating, does this person demonstrate emotional maturity? How do we find out? How do we know? That is a good question, one that I don't always have the answer to because I've had people that I thought were emotionally mature. And in my work, I found out there's a lot of emotionally immature people out there. But do you feel relationally safe? Is there relational safety? And then looking at contextual safety, is this a moment? Is this the moment where we can actually have a grounded conversation? Where we're regulated, where I'm regulated, where this other person or people, I work with a lot of polyamorous relationships. So all parties involved are regulated enough to have this conversation about disclosing status. So this is a personal processing time. You don't have to put anything in the chat if you don't want to. If you want to, that's fine. But just take a moment and reflect. What would feeling emotionally safe in dating look like for me? What would feeling emotionally safe in dating look like for me? Well, I always say, what it look like, smell like, taste like, feel like. What are the parameters that would make you feel emotionally safe? Take a moment and think about that.
We do have a share in the chat, accepting my faults and my status.
Thank you. Next question. What would tell me I can breathe here? What indicators would let you know I can breathe here? This person is safe enough for me to.
We also have open communication in the chat, and also loving myself.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. Many of us have been through experiences, life, that has caused us to move into the unregulated spaces where we don't even know it, that we're constantly get into that fight, flight, freeze response where even if someone says hello, we because of our past, we automatically like, what do they want? What they're trying to harm me? It's really about feeling safe and not feeling unsafe. And unfortunately, life has done that to many people with marginalized identities. Even for myself, I had a colleague years ago, and she just wrote on a sheet of paper. She just wrote "breathe," and I was like, why did she say tell me to breathe? Why'd she write that? I didn't even realize sometimes I would just hold my breath and then but people would hear this, then I would take a deep breath in. I didn't even know I wasn't breathing. So just even having those spaces to regulate your nervous system and to be able to breathe, it's a beautiful thing. So then U equals U when science meets emotion, like we talked about earlier, I mentioned briefly. U equals U, undetectable equals untransmittable. People with undetectable viral loads do not transmit HIV sexually. This is backed by over 1,000 plus health organizations worldwide, and awareness is still highest among people living with HIV and lower in the general public. It's lower in the general public. So it is fair for us to be nervous when we're disclosing because people that don't have to know don't have to know, and that could be safe, make us feel unsafe because we can't just assume that they know. And then, but even when people do know, many people might know intellectually, they can understand, okay, undetectable equals untransmittable. Got it, cognitively. But they can still carry emotional fear and the stigma response. Yeah, I know what the science says, but yeah, I just prefer not to. There's still a lot of fear and stigma around it, even when the science says otherwise. So the gap between knowledge and emotional safety is where a lot of relational work happens. The knowledge, but also feeling safe. I have to have both of those in order for us to have that relational work to begin. So in a nutshell, culture, religion often lags behind science. So you've decided to that you want to get out here in these dating streets and see if you can find your person or people. Like I said, I work with a lot of polyamorous and ethical non-monogamous people. So if you want more, one or two, three, four, five, and there's no judgment here. But when to disclose? There's no one right answer. So if you're on a dating app, you can disclose in your profile. You can just put it right there and say, listen, I'm gonna be bold and just state it. If you want me, you want me. If you don't, then you don't. So the a con to that, a benefit to that is maybe it filters early. So the people that do contact you, they already know. But then a a negative part of that. So the pro is filtering early, but the con might be feeling exposed, like just putting all of yourself on the out there for people to judge you or um, to filter you before they even got to know you.
Dr. Chris, someone said that's scary.
Yes, it very much is. I 100% agree. So this is not easy. None of this is easy. I don't want to even give that impression that it is. This is a very challenging, like I said, last time we did this presentation, there was a lot of strong, Denise, you remember, there's a lot of strong emotions that came up, even just with the thought of disclosing. So I'll also say, and I'll get to this later, no one is saying you need to disclose. It's up to you to disclose how you disclose, and depending on where you live, it's not criminalized to disclose if you are,
There's
take.
also there's a comment in the chat about starting with a prep conversation, just seeing how that goes.
Mm,
Just starting that conversation, putting it on the table.
love that. Yes. And I'm really, I love this that you're putting these things in the chat. Like I said, I'm more interactive. When I did this presentation, we were having people come in and chime in and stuff. So this is just keep them coming. Another time when you can disclose is before meeting, before we say, okay, we've talked enough on the app and now we're going to choose to meet each other. So that protects your emotional energy because you can let them before you even meet. You've already disclosed, but then it might still feel too early for you. Third, on your first day before intimacy ensues, you have had an opportunity to meet the person. They can put a face and a body to the name and all everything. So it's more human context. But at this point, the rejection might feel a little harder because they're maybe in your face and they're telling you whether they're saying it nice or whether they're saying it mean. It still can rejection doesn't feel good. So you've invested some when you disclose at the first date. And then finally, when intimacy becomes likely, so you've had the opportunity to have more connection, but the conversation could feel rushed. We're about to get in the bed or wherever you do your sexual deeds. And it's like, okay, now we're going to have this conversation. All right, are you okay with that? Cool. Now we rush into, so it can feel a little bit rushed. So the point is, there's no right answer. But the real question for you, I want to leave you with, I want to for you to hold on to, is which choice lets me act with integrity and protect my emotional well-being? Which choice lets me act, me personally, not anyone else, which one choice lets me act with my integrity and protect my emotional well-being? So disclosure is healthiest when it happens in connection, not in panic. So if you're feeling panicked, like I have to do it, if you're pressured to do it, then maybe take a few steps back, because then that definitely will um, impact the way that you communicate it, but also the way the other person receives it. So then let's go to how to disclose. Language matters. So regardless of when you disclose, how you do it shapes the conversation. So here are some things to avoid and possibly some things to do. So you might avoid saying something like, I have something terrible to tell you. You're already preparing them for the worst. You might avoid apologizing excessively for your sad status. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do this. Apologize. Overly, excessively apologizing. Why are you apologizing to them? Like, yeah. And then avoid making it seem like a confession of wrongdoing. And avoid over explaining or becoming defensive before they've even had the opportunity to react. So you're overly explaining, or you've automatically assumed they're going to respond negatively. So you're already reacting to that negative response even before they had the opportunity to say something. So instead of these, possible other options are to say something along the lines as I want to share something about my health with you because I value transparency. Come with humility. Like and letting them know I value you enough to hold that I believe, hopefully, that you can hold this vulnerable part of me, this piece of me. Before we move forward physically, I want you to know I'm HIV positive. I'm in treatment, undetectable, and that means I can't transmit the virus. Again, you don't have to say any of these, but these are some possible suggestions. You might say, do you know what U equals U means? It stands for undetectable equals untransmittable, and is backed by decades of research. And then you might share these things and then pause and let them process. Because it might be a lot for them to process. Don't automatically assume that they're going to respond negatively, but they might just need a moment to sit with that, and that's okay. Allow them to ask questions if they're doing it in a respectful way. If they're not doing it in a respectful way, if you feel threatened, then definitely get up and vacate. But if they're approaching you in a tender way and a caring way, allow them to ask questions and or respond emotionally.
Dr. Chris, someone shared something that I think is like so beautiful in the chat. So they said it's not easy, but I found the best way to disclose is doing it with confidence and strength. If you're okay with being paused, then anyone who's on the fence will feel your confidence. So it's about projecting safety onto other people, which that speaks volumes, I think.
Yes, yes. I don't know who that is, but you need to be giving this presentation. Yes. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing. Well, I'm going to share this and then I'm going to invite one person, if there is one. I'm going to give us a scenario. You disclose your HIV status, and the person says, I don't know much about HIV. Can you still transmit it? I'm worried. Is there one brave volunteer that can kind of just give us your spiel? What would you say to that? And Heather, I'm gonna trust you to just, if there is a person, just to pick that one person.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to come off mute or raise your hands. Also, if you don't feel comfortable sharing live, feel free to put it in the chat.
If there is none, then we'll move on. But is there one?
Is there anyone here?
Just asking, how would you respond? Who was the person that did said they would respond confidently? And not to put them on the spot, but is that person willing to?
Yeah, is that person willing to come off mute and share? I believe that was Vic. Feel free to just jump in.
All right. So I get it. Five, four, three, two.
Oh, Vic just came on camera. I see your face. Hi, Vic.
Why? I can't see my face though. Can I? How do I do that? I don't know. Anyway,
You look
doesn't matter.
amazing.
All
Trust
right.
me.
It's my morning face. Uh, okay. So the scenario was, yeah. I guess I guess following on from what I was saying about being confident, projecting that safety. So if the person says, I don't know much, can you still transmit? I'm a bit worried. It's like being confident about the science, like if you believe in it, and you say to yourself as a philosophy that I am safe, I'm fine, I believe in the science. I've done it many, many, many times. I've never had an issue with it in terms of consequences or anything like that. So, not you can't tell a person that you have to believe this, but because we don't preach to people, but we just say what we believe in it. And I have the confidence that it's safe. I can give you heaps of information if you want to, search it up and look online about studies, things like that. I can do all that for you. The more information I can give you, that's fine because I'm completely confident that I'm fine. If you don't want to do anything until you convince yourself by looking up the information that I give you, that's fine. I'm patient, so it's about being patient, not rushing the person, not trying to push them, but just saying, take your time. You need to be convinced. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just trying to give you the information and the feeling of confidence. But you have to make up your own mind. And I'm patient about it. So it's about patience as well, and not making the person feel rushed into making a decision. Something like that.
Yes, Vic, yeah, I don't have anything to give you, but you get a gold star, just a proverbial gold star. Thank you so much, Vic, for that amazing answer.
Dr. Chris, we have some answers in the chat too, if I could just quickly share. Um, I love this one. Maybe start with a thank you for being open, like acknowledging, like, thanks for having this conversation and being willing to know more. And then also someone said, I completely understand why you're worried, especially if you don't know much about HIV. The important thing to know is that I'm on treatment and I'm undetectable. When someone with HIV gets and stays undetectable, they cannot transmit HIV through sex. It's called U equals U, undetectable equals untransmittable. This isn't just something I'm saying to make you feel better. It's backed by years of scientific research. I take care of my health and stay on top of my treatment. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and I don't expect you to know everything about HIV. That is a thorough, amazing answer. And I also love what you said, Vic, about people doing their own research, like having that special link that you just is your go-to, like, giving information on U equals U. All of these are great answers.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for those answers. And hopefully this is helping other people, the people that didn't share, but the people that are listening. Hopefully that you're getting something out of this. So then we talked about this fear of rejection. Will anyone want me? And that is hard to hold. But this fear is real and it is common. And the truth of the matter is, some people will react badly. That is real. But some people may reject me is not the same as no one will ever want me. Let that sink in. Some people may reject me is not the same as no one will ever want me. In my line of work in therapy, we call that catastrophic or kind of black and white type of thinking. Like, like if one person doesn't want me, no one wants me, type of thing. But some does not mean that no one will. So the fear is about some people. And the last time we did this presentation, many people chimed in and said, I disclosed and I'm with my partner. We've been together for X amount of years. So we had so many people that disclosed and they still found their person. So there is hope. So it was never proof that something is wrong with you. If someone rejects you, it's not proof that something is wrong with you. So just to name some reactions to disclosure, there are healthy responses and there are unhealthy responses. I don't have to tell you the unhealthy, but some healthy responses are the person saying, thank you for trusting me with this. We love that response. Thank you for trusting me with this. That's the type of person that's emotionally mature and that can handle us. I'm glad you told me. It's another healthy response. Let's talk about what this means for us. But when people react poorly, it tells you something important. Again, I can't reiterate this enough. It's not about your worth. Their poor reaction is not say that you're not worthy. It is about their capacity. So then there's rejection. Again, no one likes to feel rejection. Rejection happens and it hurts. Can't sugarcoat it. It hurts. But again, rejection is not a verdict of your worth. You see, I'm trying to reiterate this over and over and over again. So hopefully you get it one slide, you get the next slide. Rejection is not a verdict of your worth. So I'm gonna invite you now, just take a pause. We talk about rejection and it could bring up feelings, emotions. So just take a moment if you're in a space where you can kind of just notice your body on the chair or wherever you are. You're standing, just notice the breeze or whatever. Just notice your body in space. If you want to close your eyes, you can. Or if you see something, a picture, an image, a spot that you want to zoom in on for a moment, just kind of breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time. Breathe in, breathe out. I invite you to stretch. When we talk about topics that are maybe dysregulating for us, it's important to come back to our bodies. So not just in this place, but even outside of here, whenever you're feeling dysregulated, whenever you get into that fight, flight, freeze mode or fawn, then I invite you to move back into your body and notice your body in space. Sometimes they say to notice 5 things that you see, 4 things that you hear, 3 things that you see. So I'm gonna just notice your body in space. So now we're going to move to building authentic intimacy. Building authentic intimacy. Attraction brings people together. Safety keeps them together. It's easy to be attracted and find, ooh, I like your hair. I like your eyes. Attraction. It brings us together. But it's only when we're safe that it keeps us together. I had a relationship client right before this that they said they don't feel safe in the relationship. And so they have a foot out. It's safety is important to authentic intimacy. So what actually builds intimacy? Emotional safety. Feeling emotional safe allows for vulnerability. I feel like I can open up and not judge me. You need that emotional safety in order for intimacy to take place. Consistency. This is one of the hard outside of emotional safety. Consistency in these dating streets is, whew, it's a challenge. You talk to somebody for 1, 2, 3 days, and then you never hear from them again. Well, consistency is just across the board a challenging thing. But you need that consistency in order to have intimacy. Reliability builds trust faster than intensity. Reliability builds trust faster than intensity. Can I trust that you're going to show up, that you're going to be there when I need you? But then also, intimacy is built through repair. So you might have a challenging conversation with someone, and it happens around disclosure. But do they repair? How do they repair? Do they apologize? Do they come back? And in any type of relationship, it's really the repair that makes the difference between intimacy, if there's intimacy there. Because conflict does not destroy intimacy. Unrepaired conflict does. The strength of a relationship is determined by how they repair. And then also, intimacy is built on mutual reality, shared understanding of risk, health, identity, and future goals. These are 4, there are more, but just 4, a minimum of 4 things that can build intimacy. So as we're thinking about dating and getting out in these dating streets. These are some things to look for. Well, sometimes we don't even know what we're looking for. So this is kind of giving you some things to, if you can find these things, check, check, check. If you can't find any of these things, then maybe that's not the right person. So then another moment. Again, you don't have to put it in the chat if you don't want. But what do I want? What do I actually want from dating or intimacy right now? Take a moment and think about that. What do I actually want from dating or intimacy right now? Do I just want sex? That's fine. There's definitely somebody out there. Do I want a relationship? That's fine too. But whatever it is, take a moment and kind of think, what do you actually want from dating or intimacy right now?
We've got companionship and friendship. I think that's so important because like you want to be friends with the person that you're intimate with as well.
Mhm.
People forget that sometimes, the friendship bit. Building a relationship, a place where I feel safe. Safety is so important.
Mhm.
To be my authentic self and feel seen, heard, and valued.
I'm gonna chime in and say you deserve that.
Mhm.
Deserve to feel seen, heard, understood. We all do.
Not being judged.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm gonna go on to the next. So intimacy requires vulnerability, and that is terrifying. True intimacy asks us to be seen. Walls may have helped us to survive up to this point. We might have built walls as protection. Walls are there to protect, and they've helped us to survive up to this point. So I'm not saying you need to break down your walls, tear down your walls, just let anybody come in. No, that's not what I'm saying. So the work is not tearing down every wall, but I love this. The work is learning where a door belongs and who gets the key. The work is learning where a door belongs and who gets the key. Everybody doesn't deserve access to you, but there might be some people that do. So then we put a door. Think about what is that? Alice in Wonderland. She's looking around in the little hole, trying to find the door, trying to find the key to the door. There are walls, but sometimes there needs to be a door for the right person or right people. So this is a reclamation, a reclaiming dating from auditioning to choosing, moving from will they like me to I have a choice in the matter. So it's a shift from will they accept me to are they capable of loving me well? You have a choice. You have the power. It's not just a one-sided thing. What the other person has power and to to say yay or nay. You also have the power. You're able to say, you can't love me well, so peace, deuces, I'm out. Whatever it is you need to say, but it's not just on the other person's terms. You deserve pleasure. You deserve sexual fulfillment. You deserve pleasure. You deserve sexual fulfillment. So, as you re-enter or continue navigating the dating world, remember these things. Disclosure is your choice. There is no universal perfect moment to disclose. Remember that rejection may hurt, but it is not proof that you are unworthy. Remember that intimacy requires vulnerability, and you already, if you're in this space, if you're alive, you already know something about courage. So then, one small step. Choose one concrete step that you can take after this presentation, after for this week. What is one small thing that you can move to move the needle forward on dating and intimacy? Is it download a dating app and just look? Is it have coffee with a friend and talk about your dating fears? Is it, of course, I'm a therapist, of course, I would say this. Research a therapist who specializes in HIV and relationships. Is it join a long-term survivors social group, like a reunion project? Or maybe it's let yourself rest and not date at all. That's a valid choice too. Think about one thing that you can do if you are wanting to get back out there, or if you want to continue dating. What's one thing that you can do for you this week? One small step. I'm all bit about baby steps. You don't have to take the huge step, but what's the small thing that you could do to move the needle forward? I'll give you a moment just to think about it. You can write something in the chat. You can not. It's fine. But just think about it.
Denise says make an appointment with Dr. Krys.
So we're almost to a close, but I will invite you, this helps me out. For those who can, give me some feedback on this presentation. I took the feedback from last time and I was able to perfect this. Hopefully it's better this time than the last time, so that your feedback is really valuable to me. So if you can, if you can pull out your phone, if you're able to, just scan the QR code or go to the link that's there and just do a quick evaluation on me. I welcome good, bad, all the, if you say you don't like the color I got on, it doesn't matter. Whatever you want to put, it's fine with me, but your feedback is still important. I'll give you a moment just to think about that before we get into open it up for conversation.
Also, additionally, I dropped a link in the chat for the reunion project evaluation as well. But yeah, extra hearts. We'll swipe right on you if you do both. We love that. Thank you all so much. This has been a great conversation. I can't wait to open the floor for more discussion.
So as you're doing that, remember, you are not a virus. You are not your past. You are a complete person deserving of love, connection, and joy. You are not a virus. You are not your past. You are a complete person deserving of love, connection, and joy. Thank you for being an amazing audience thus far. We're going to get into some questions. I don't have all the answers, but it's in the room. The answers are in the room. But if you like to stay connected, these are my platforms you can reach me on, website, Facebook, IG, and that's it for now. Available for speaking gigs, singing gigs, facilitation, you name it. So.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chris. There's so much love in the chat right now. Everyone has really enjoyed the content. And also there are some questions about the slides, which will be emailed to everybody who registered tomorrow, as well as the recording. But during this time, I just like to open the floor to anybody. Feel free to come off mute, raise your hand, put it in the chat. If you have any comments or questions, this is a safe space, so we're just looking to spill some tea and talk with one another about the topic. So, yeah, feel free to chime in at any time.
I just want to say thank you, Dr. Chris. This was amazing. I'm a licensed social worker and I work with people living with HIV. I've been doing this for 10 years. I just want to say thank you. I have an online support group for people living with HIV that started 3 minutes ago. So I must go, but I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who'd like to share? Come off mute. We're getting some feedback that this felt easy. This was very sensitive, non-judgmental, and safe. Excellent. Amazing. Thank you with like a million exclamation marks. Um, Love stuff going on.
I see. Is it Melanie?
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Chris. This was an amazing, um, well thought out, the way that it was interactive, and you didn't have to go live to say things that what you were presenting touched us. But I'd like to say to you this is that I don't really date and I'm not interested right now in dating,
Mhm.
but I have always enjoyed sex, always enjoyed pleasure. I pleasure myself. Now, when it gets to the point where I have the time to invest myself into a relationship, then I'm going to use some of your pointers and get involved with dating people and not just pleasuring myself. But this was excellent. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I am a sex positive therapist. I'm here for it. So pleasure yourself. You do whatever you need to do as long as you're not hurting anybody. I'm here for it. So
I just really appreciate it. I'm recently divorced and I was born HIV positive, so I feel like who's gonna love me? How is like life gonna go on? And this was super good timing. And you gave me hope, and it's just super exciting.
thank you. Can you?
So but I'm not. But
It
I
was hard.
appreciate.
It was hard to hear you a little bit. Can you just say that a little bit again?
Yeah, because it said like I was getting kicked out or something of this, but um, yeah, I just appreciate it because I was recently divorced, and I was like, what am I gonna do? Who's gonna love me? How am I gonna date? And like I struggled even before marriage because, like I said, I was born HIV positive, so I've always just been like, how do I tell someone? And I've struggled with telling people, not telling people, the consequences of both. And this just gave me a lot of hope. So great timing. Wonderful. You were amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If anybody else has any questions, feel free to come off mute, put them in the chat. There's lots of thank yous coming in. I know personally, you mentioned it, a lot about polyamory and like ethical non-monogamy. Um, I'm polyamorous and disclosing my status among partners. I'm just wondering like what are some common things that polyamorous folks come to you with? Because I feel like there's so many facets to polyamory in general, just whether it's hierarchical or non-hierarchical, but what are some common issues that come up with your polyamorous couples or your polyamorous patients?
Mhm. So the number one thing with in all my relationship clients, whether they're monogamous or polyamorous or ethical non-monogamy, if you don't know what that is, then you can look that up. We don't have space to name all of that. But the number one thing is communication. we talked about intimacy, and it's was right on point because regardless of the relationship style, communication is important. Being able to say the things that are coming up for you and feeling safe enough to do that. It's oftentimes even more important when we are polyamorous or ethical non-monogamous because, well, I say that comparing monogamous to polyamorous, the issues are still there in monogamy, but they're kind of in your face when you're a polyamorous. So what I mean by that, jealousy exists in monogamous relationship, but it's really going to be in your face if your partner has a partner, and so you really have to be able to voice these things and name these things. Be honest with yourself. Like this is how I'm feeling in order for it to work well, and this is just my personal bias, but I think if a polyamorous relationship is done well, they are healthier and happier than a monogamous relationship because of the things that it requires to be self-aware, but also to be able to articulate that to all parties involved.
Thank you for that. And I agree. I don't think I've communicated more in my life. We've got some more things coming in the chat. So someone shared they disclosed in 1991 to their current partner of 35 years. That's awesome.
Yes, it is possible to find a person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. And also, someone else said with any configuration, communication, as you said before, shared understandings. Awesome. There's a lot of lovely emojis, some rainbows, some smiley faces and hugs. It's awesome. Lots of love, lots of sharing. I want to go back in the chat because someone shared something really, really beautiful. It was Alyssa, developing healthy coping mechanisms and connecting with community is key to addressing and overcoming the woes of disclosure and the PTSD and unpleasantries that can come with it.
Mhm.
1000%. Community is so important. Sometimes just having someone there who gets it. That's so important. That's awesome. Well, if anyone else would like to come off mute or put anything in the chat, the floor is still open. Um, or if you have any like final last words of encouragement to share with us, Dr. Krys, or reflections or anything, it's all safe here. So
Well, I love the reunion project. I tell my clients all the time about the reunion project, and uh, I know people don't know about it. I'm like, what? You don't know about the reunion? Listen, let me tell you about the reunion project. So it's definitely I appreciate the reunion project and for offering this space, and it's definitely much needed as I talked about in the slides. The stigma is there, and I think. In Chicagoland area where I am, but also the Union Project is is another organization that is helping to minimize that stigma as much as you can. It's in your power. So thank you for this work.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Krys. We've got Let's Go Chicago, hashtag Southside. We got some Chicago love.
I'm in Hyde Park, South Side.
Yes. Also love this. Vic is saying, don't make HIV the focus, make your character the focus. And that's
Mhm,
sort of like, what you were saying in the comments about you're not the virus. That is not you. Like
mhm,
you are a whole person with thoughts and feelings and connections and opinions outside of living with HIV. Yeah. Also, we got some hashtag TRP. Yeah, Oak is saying that you are not the virus hit so deep. Um, I feel that. I know, like after I'm a person living with HIV, and I think like immediately after disclosure, like one of my first thoughts was like, damn, like who's
mhm,
ever gonna want, you know what I mean? And it takes so long and so much conditioning and self-love and pouring into yourself to be able to like unlearn those things that just come with the stigma. Um,
mhm.
Denise loves this conversations, but has to go. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this slide up on the screen for y'all so that you know how to connect with the reunion project. Are we seeing it all right?
Yes.
Awesome. So yeah, we have a website at reunionproject.net. It has all the information about our upcoming webinars and in-person events. If you or anyone you know is around Columbia, South Carolina, we're going to be there next week. So let them know. Information on how to register is on the website. You can also reach out to us in our general email info@reunionproject.net with any questions, thoughts, opinions, anything you want to share. We're on Blue Sky, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. We're going to be at USCHA this year. We're going to have a booth, so come visit us. There's going to be a photo shoot opportunity, and we'll paint your nails. We have a little nail painting station. Yeah, and just continue to connect with us. If you're not on our mailing list, you can join by going to our website. And if you registered for this webinar, which obviously you did because you're here, we're going to add you to our mailing list as well. There's always an option to unsubscribe, but it'll give you all the tea about upcoming events and what's going on with us and things relevant to the community. And yeah, I just want to take this final opportunity to drop the evaluation link in the chat again. Please grab that if you haven't yet. And to thank you so much, Dr. Krys. Obviously, we love and adore you. We keep asking you to come back. And I'm sure it is not the last we'll see of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all of your wisdom and your kindness and the safety that you brought to this space. And thank you everyone for joining us. One thing about the reunion project is I can always say any event, whether it's in person or virtual, the love is just palpable. I can feel the love here and the support and just the building and maintaining the connections. Yeah, and I just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please do something nice for yourself tonight and every day, multiple things. Write a list of things that you're going to do nice for yourself and check them off the list. Self-love and self-care is always number one. Thank you so much, Dr. Krys, and thank you, everyone. And I
As,
hope
as
everyone,
I as I close every single conversation I have with my clients, I tell them at the end, be good to yourself. So I leave you with that. Be good to yourself.
yes, absolutely. Vic is cooking his favorite curry, he says. So that is good. That sounds good to me.
Where do you live, Vic? No, I'm just
I
joking.
know, right? All right. Party at Vic's house. See you in a second. Thank you all so much and have an excellent night. I'll see you all next time. Bye.